Together we can eradicate infectious diseases, and we would like your help. Let's see how a communicable disease spreads and how we can stop it. First, let's look at the average case of an individual who catches a disease. We will use COVID-19 as the example. First, our healthy person meets an infected person. Our healthy person has now been infected. Although our person is infected, they are not infectious. On average, they continue like this for 2 days. They would test negative at this stage. On day 3, our person becomes infectious. They still feel perfectly fine, but they are now infecting other people. They would continue infecting people for another 2 or 3 days. They would probably now test positive if they took a test. On day 5 or 6, our person starts to feel unwell and develops the symptoms of COVID-19. Following current guidance, they would self-isolate and would not infect anyone else. They would also go and get a test. Our person recovers and after 7 days feels better and is no longer infectious. Now let's see an outbreak happen. Here is a group of healthy people. We are about to watch the disease spread through this group, and each person will pass it to about 2 other people. Scientists would say the reproductive number is 2, or R equals 2. You can see that COVID is spread before the infectious person feels ill and self-isolates, and that more and more people catch COVID. This is what happens when we have a wave. Okay, we don't want waves, so let's rewind and try again. Now we will watch a first-generation digital contact tracing app try and stop the wave by asking people who may have been infected to isolate before they spread it further. Let's pause. The app has sent 2 warnings because these people were close to the person who fell ill, but we can see the warning arrives too late as those people have already spread it further. The delay is because the app waits for the first person to test positive before warning the second person. The first generation approach is also inaccurate. 20 people are asked to isolate for every real case of COVID. Here is what that looks like. Let's follow what happens. We see that the first generation app allows the wave to grow, but also causes a lot of disruption. In the UK, we called this a pingdemic. Okay, that's no good. Now let's try that again with Proxximos. Proxximos is fast and starts reacting when the first person reports symptoms. You can see that Proxximos warns the second people to isolate before they are infectious. And Proxximos is accurate, so fewer other contacts of the first person receive warnings. Proxximos prevents the wave spreading, it has acted as a digital vaccine, and of course there is no pingdemic. Think of Proxximos like a fire sprinkler. We cannot stop a spark, but we can extinguish the fire before it gets hold. We have just seen the basic science of digital contact tracing. There are about 15 other success factors we would love to talk about, but the key is to be fast and accurate. Only then can you warn people before they're infectious and stop an outbreak. Proxximos, the digital vaccine. Be fast, be accurate. Help us eradicate infectious disease.